Wahgwaan FPL, yes right there, you know. It's the wrap up week 4, so let's get into it. If y'all still struggling with your side, man, after this, I'm happy with my team. If y'all want to be happy with your team and learn how to use your wild card, go ahead and watch that video that I made called your wild card is inside. You know what I mean? It would explain to you how to use your wild card and how to use your money and how to make a good team. But right now, it's the wrap up week 4, so let's get into it, man. First matchup, we have Arsenal versus Forest 3-0. Here are the players for Arsenal that's been performing. Gyökeres, back at it again. Raya, back at it again. And with some midfielders. And I think Arsenal is the best place to get defenders for your side. Next, we have Brentford versus Brighton & Albion 2-1. Here are the top players for Brentford. Simeon, back at it again. 3 lightning strike, man. That boy been performing. I mean, got the striker right there, been performing. And you got a midfielder that's been performing. And those are the players that might want to be considered for your team when you're thinking about from Brentford. For Brighton & Albion, top players, you can see Mitoma, back at it again. He's been performing for his team. So you got 2 midfielders from Brighton & Albion you could be considering for your team. Next matchup, Sunderland versus Crystal Palace. 0-0. Not much to talk about. Next matchup, Aston Villa versus Everton. 0-0. Next matchup, we have Fulham versus Leeds. Like I said, any midfielders from Fulham, Fulham's been performing with their midfielder. Another midfielder on the list, 1-0 for Fulham. Next matchup, we have Newcastle versus Wolves. Pope, if you were looking for a goalkeeper right there, double lightning strike, he's been performing. You have the forward ultimate, and you have another midfielder from Newcastle that's been performing. Next, you have Spurs versus West Ham, 3-0. Here are the top players from Spurs that's been performing. You have the goalkeeper back at it again. You have Salah back at it again. You could see the 2 lightning strike. And you have some new players on the list that's been performing for Spurs. Look like you can get some defenders from Spurs if you're looking for some defenders. Next matchup, we have Chelsea versus Brentford, 2-2. Right here, you got another striker on the list, and I mean Pedro. He's back at it again, 3 lightning strike. Boy's been doing this thing, man. You got a midfielder on the list, and you got Palmer coming off of an injury. So look like you could be considering from your team to look like he's good. For Brentford, you have a lot of midfielders you could be considering, you know what I mean? Look at the midfielders, pick the midfielders that you like. Next matchup, we have Liverpool versus Burnley. You know what I mean? If you're struggling with Salah, I'm going to make a video about that so you could see which midfielder you could choose to substitute for Salah. But Salah's still coming through, you know what I mean? Right there with that late penalty. Frimpong with an assist for the defender. And like I said, with a clean sheet, you always got to consider the goalkeeper, Alisson, right there. Next matchup, we have Manchester City versus Manchester United. The last matchup of this week. You know what I mean? Haaland back at it again. The boy been firing, man. 2 goals, you know what I mean? 13 points right there. You got Foden. Look like he's healthy. So you could go ahead and think about Foden if you want to substitute him for Salah. You have Doku right there. You got Bernardo. And with a clean sheet, you always got to be considered a goalkeeper. And like I said, man, it's the wrap up. Week 4. So let's get into it. Yes, right there. You done know.